Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel eddieinreadingland. My name is Eddie and today I'm bringing you a review for the Spirit Keeper's Tarot by the fantastic and wonderful Benebell Wen. Okay guys, so this is the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, the Revelation edition, the last edition that Benebell did for her tarot. I know that there's two previous editions of the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, and this is the third and final one. I know also, and I am so sorry to let you know that this tarot is no longer in print, and like I said in my previous video about the Book of Maps, I'm very fortunate to have this tarot, and very fortunate to work with it. I am grateful, so grateful that I have the opportunity to work with this tarot, and because I know that most of us won't have that opportunity anymore. I'm sorry guys, but I'm here to review this tarot because it's just so amazing. The work, the journaling, the release that happened with the Spirit Keeper's Tarot for me was amazing. This in conjunction with Benebell's the I Ching Oracle as well, which I'll cover in another video too. But for today, I'm just gonna cover the tarot, and as you guys can see, here we have the beautiful tot box, and this is a two-part box, but I wanted to show you guys how beautiful it is. The detail. I mean, it's just so wonderful. Not only that on the outside, but also on the inside. Sapere aude, which means dare to know. This is Latin. Oh! I'm sorry, guys. That wasn't pretty impressive. Especially because it was there. I swear I can read Latin, guys. It's easy to read Latin for Spanish speakers. Or any of the of our Romance speakers, brothers and sisters. And siblings. Okay. So here we have that as well, and it's a pretty good. It was a pretty good production, guys. By Benebell. I have to admit that this is quite fancy. Now the tarot does come with a little white book. So this is actually a really good book, and if you can get the Spirit Keepers, just the tarot, just the cards, I would definitely strongly suggest that you read the little white book, because this way you will familiarize yourself with the name changes and the structure change as well of the tarot. Well, it's not really a change, it's just a well, how can I explain? A different organization of the structure of tarot. Let's just say. But this will make you familiarize yourself with it, because Benebell has changed the names and for most of the cards, not all of them, but most of them. And this will give you a starting point as to what the card is supposed to mean, or what Benebell intended for that card to mean. So I would definitely strongly suggest that you read this if you don't have the Book of Maps that comes with the tarot. But here are the beautiful backs, and if you guys already watched the video on the Book of Maps, you've probably already seen this. No, you have actually already seen this. Not probably, you have. But here are the backs, the beautiful backs, and the deck does come gilded in this pale gold color. Now, it's not like I don't like the gilding, guys, but as you guys can see, it's chipping, and I don't riffle shuffle the decks. I don't riffle shuffle my decks anymore, actually, I should say. But they are actually really good quality cards, guys. They're thick, they're flexible and bendy. I'm pretty sure that you would be able to riffle shuffle this deck. I just won't do it because I don't want to. But yeah, so while I talk about the art and some of the cards, I mean, in just in general, I'm gonna show you the art for some of these. I have to admit that it took me a while to get used to the art for this tarot, not because I don't like the art, because I actually do. It was because I am not used to using decks that are so rich and heavy in imagery and symbolism, as you guys can see from the cards. This is a very I don't want to say convoluted because it doesn't look convoluted. There's an order. There's a purpose for how the cards are structured, and I appreciate that. But it did take me a little while to get used to the imagery because again I'm not used to that, and you can definitely feel the layers on the cards when you see them, and when you experience them live, you are definitely able to tell even more. As you guys can see by the imagery, this is quite meticulous and there are very minute detailed. It's very detailed, everything it is. Benebell, if you guys didn't know, she learned how to draw to be able to create this tarot. If that's not a sign of a good tarot reader and a good researcher and a good diviner, I mean, for goodness sakes, having to learn to draw to create this amazing tarot, that's just another level for me. It's pretty commendable, to be perfectly honest, because I know that most people won't do that. I don't know if I would do that if I didn't know how to draw already. I can tell you something though, creating a deck, a tarot deck, is quite the work. It takes years, guys. I haven't even finished with my tarot, and I already sketched all of the 78 cards. But it is an undertaking, guys, and especially something like this that's so well researched and so organized and so rich in symbology and occult symbolism, especially. Yeah, I am just in awe how she was able to weave culture and different philosophies into these cards and make it cohesive. It's just incredibly fascinating to me, because before this I wouldn't think it was going to be possible at all. So yeah, no, so good on Benebell for doing this for herself and sharing it with us, because good gods, this was a colossal undertaking, and I think she did an amazing job, and the drawings are beautiful. I mean, the composition alone is beautiful. I do have to say that sometimes for especially for these cards, you'd really have to look quite distinctly to the cards so that you're able to see everything, because yes, some of the cards are very heavy in design and symbols, but overall, when you see this deck on a spread, and when you see this deck when you're journaling, when you're doing daily draws, it actually doesn't feel I don't want to use the word convoluted. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels very light. It feels very airy, which is very weird for me to say, because this deck is actually quite grounding. And if I had to choose an element for this deck, it would be the earth element. This is a very earthy deck, but so it almost behaves like dust, I would say, in that ethereal grounding that it brings, at least it brought to me. It just feels like it's very light when you're using it, when you're practicing with it, when you're interpreting it. It's very light. I do have to say that I found myself going to the book of maps, which I have here, guys, and consulting it, not because I couldn't understand what the card was telling me. It was because I was just wanting to refresh my memory as to what the card, the culture, the history, the symbols, what they are and why they were there. So I just had it in hand when I was using it, guys. But this tarot is very when I was journaling with this tarot, when I was doing daily draws, I actually took 2 cards from this deck. There's a reason for that, because also because of the I Ching. But this is a deck that doesn't like to be consulted for just 1 card. This deck likes 2 or more cards. I'm pretty sure that if I ever get to read for someone using this deck is going to like being a higher number spread, maybe 9, 12, 15 cards. I haven't read for others using this deck, not because I didn't get the opportunity. It was because I didn't want to. This turned out to be a very personal deck for me, and this is exactly why I use it for myself. So basically I just took 2 cards every day from this deck when I was practicing with it, guys. I will eventually have read for people using this deck. I do want to reread the Book of Maps again, and I do want to use the deck again for journaling and daily draws as well. But so that I would want to branch out and read for others using this deck, because I think it's going to be a really good experience, especially for the person who I'm reading with, because they're going to be able to see a lot of symbols, and they're going to be able to tell me what is drawing their attention more towards the card. So it's going to be a pretty interesting experience. I'm going to take some water because I'm losing my voice. I rarely speak, guys. I rarely talk. And when I do these videos, I seem to start losing my voice. But okay, so yeah, so that's with the art and some of my thoughts about the tarot. I did want to show you guys some cards like I usually do. Some specific cards like I usually do. And I said on my previous video that I was going to show you guys the 3 Fools. And here we have the Initiate, the Seeker, and the Keeper. The Initiate, the Seeker, and the Keeper. They are incredibly beautiful, all of them. I chose this one for the Fool that I used mostly because I didn't feel like I was searching for something new when I was using the tarot. I was actually just seeking guidance, so that's why I chose this one. And actually, I believe it's the most beautiful of the Fools as well. So here they are. Here the 3 Fools. I also wanted to show you guys the Lovers, the Demon, and the 6 of Chalices, which they are. It's called the Memory Keeper in this deck. And as you guys are able to notice, well, there's a lot of symbolism here, guys. But what I would be happy to go over all of this symbolism if I believe that I would be able to do it in a very basic and succinct way. But no. But what I wanted to bring your attention to is the Phoenix and the Dragon. So for the Lovers, The dragon and the phoenix are both the guardians of the tree of life and also the tree of knowledge. As you can see here, in the demon, the devil has chained the lovers, or maybe it hasn't. Or maybe it hasn't. We can't really tell. Right now, we know that they're in chains, but we don't know if they're actually bound or just wanting to be bound. So I thought that was incredibly fascinating. And on the Memory Keeper over here, we have the phoenix, the baby phoenix, and the baby dragon over here, and they represent, in this case, the past and the future. There are cards where this is happening, where we are seeing the same symbols in different aspects, or even the same symbol from one card to the other. It's very fascinating, and Benebell also goes into the in the guidebook about this and why. So there are patterns in the cards that you can seek and work through and find out for yourself, which I found that was amazing and incredible. So here we have the force instead of strength, and as you guys can see, it's this is one of the more traditional looking cards, traditional for the Rider-Waite-Smith, I mean, in the deck. But as you guys can see, we also have the double lemniscate over here with the snakes. We also have the lion and the woman being exemplified in the matter of the Rider-Waite-Smith, where we have that woman who is preventing the lion from closing its jaw. I feel like it's more a taming versus an accepting of your wild side or the beast within. But I very much love this representation of the force. I love the fact that we have the sun here, bringing some sort of illumination or divinity to the card. We also see here the north node over here in the head of the lemniscate. There are other symbols here that I won't go into because it will be here forever. But I just wanted to say that as my favorite card in tarot, the strength card, or, well, you guys know it's the last card, but the strength card, this is a very rich, very symbology-filled strength card that I very much enjoy. There's a reason for everything here, and when I read about it in the book of maps, it's just cemented so much more my liking to the strength card. Well, in this case, the force. But here we go, guys. And then I wanted to show you the erudite. And here we have the erudite is the hermit. And I love the fact that we have the Mbanga. Hopefully I'm pronouncing their tribe and their title correctly. This is supposed to represent an Mbanga, which is an aesthetic priestess of the Maori back in Africa. As per what my notes say over here, guys, and I'm going to read it so that I don't misquote or bring any offense to anybody, because that's not my intention here. They are meant to represent the supreme creator of the Shana people. She's supposed to be also a shamaness, a spirit medium, and an oracle. These Mbanga are also historians. So there's a lot of history going into the card, not only as the hermit, but also as the person being represented here and the culture that it represents here too. This is one of my favorite representations of the hermit. And I know that I already did the video for the hermit, but I didn't. I chose other hermits, and this comes to show that your preferences will change over time, especially after you read about them and you read about the card. So yeah, that's why I wanted to show you guys that one. And this is actually my favorite card of the whole deck, the Necromancer, which is the Moon card. It's supposed to be the Moon card, but Anubis, he's one of my favorite divine representations or divine gods. I love Anubis. He is very interesting. He has a very interesting creation story or birthing story. And not to mention that he is also the god of mummification and also death. It's just I like him being represented here for the Moon card. But what's cool about this is that Benebell mentions one of his titles, which is the Opener of Roads, and as you guys can see, there's a little path here going into the mountain that you can barely see, but he's there, or it is there, and we are also seeing a waning moon, which is also quite different for the Moon card. We usually see a crescent moon or a full moon, but not a waning moon. The other thing that I like about this is the scarab over here. The scarab usually represents eternal life or immortality. Immortality. But it's fascinating that it's here because when I think about the moon actually goes into a cycle where it could represent life. So that's why I like that that he's here. I also love the fact that we have the scales here with the heart and the ostrich feather from Amat. The good thing about this is that it didn't make me feel like it was the Justice card, which I would say it's a very difficult undertaking because usually people would see this and they would think that they would think it's the Justice card. So very good, very nice. I love this. Benebell also goes into the hieroglyphs over here on the sides. I can talk about this forever, guys. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. For the this is one of the other cards that I like, the Burden one, which is the 10 of Wands. And as you guys can see, it's Atlas, but he's not carrying the world. He's actually carrying the universe. This is an astrolabe created or inspired by Ptolemy. Usually Atlas, we would see him carrying the world, not the universe. But I thought that this was even, well, obviously it's even a bigger burden to be carrying the universe than it is the world. So I typically do not like 10 of Wands, where we're seeing people carrying burdens. But this one made quite an impression because not only because of the of carrying the universe, but you also can see the strain on Atlas's face, which we usually don't see. Atlas is very proud, and he wouldn't let others see how painful it is for him to be carrying out this punishment. So I thought that was pretty amazing. Bring some emotion to the god. We are also seeing over here, this is the seal of the god, seal of God on the hands, and these ones were inspired by John Dee's representation of the seal of God as well. So I thought that was also very fascinating. Very much love this 10 of Wands, even though I typically don't like this sort of 10 of Wands. But moving on, here we have the Corruptor, which is the 7 of Chalices. And as you guys can see here, we're seeing the 7 deadly sins being portrayed in the card. I love this for various reasons. First of all, it's only sin because we believe it is sin. It's not like we don't make mistakes. We do. But our actions doesn't necessarily, or our bad actions or our bad mistakes or our bad decisions doesn't necessarily mean that they would be sins. And I love that over here. I love the fact that we choose our consequences and we choose what we do. There is no force out there tempting us to do anything. It's ourselves making decisions. And I love that this is being portrayed here in the Seven of Cups. I also love the fact that the only corruptor here is ourselves, as you guys can see here from the mirror. And this axe over here that we see, that is pretty telling. I very much love the representation of this Seven of Cups. I did something similar for my Seven of Cups, but instead of the 7 deadly sins, I chose to depict the 7 heavenly virtues. Spoiler, but it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. And oh gosh, here we have the 10 of Swords, and here we have, which is called the Destroyer. And this is not Kali, guys. This is not the goddess Kali. This is, let's see. A shamaness channels the Destroyer of Obstacles. And I believe her name is something like Bumangal. I know I'm pronouncing this wrong, but she's based on Mongolian shamanism, not Indian mythology. So, but it's just so good. Again, typically I don't like this representation of the 10 of Swords where we see this person here, but I love the fact that we have a destroyer, somebody who did this. Not they're present, they're here, right? They were the one who committed this. But I also love the fact that this destruction is supposed to happen. This is, if there's no destruction, we don't appreciate creation. If there is no destruction, there is no creation. So love that for the 10 of Swords. Again, usually I don't like this sort of representation for the 10 of Swords, but this one it's so fascinating. And when you learn more about this Mongolian shamaness, it just exacerbates this feeling of badassness. I'm sorry, I'm making up words because this is so cool. But yeah, so moving on from the Destroyer, here we have the 3 of Orbs, which is called the Mason. And from this card, I love the fact that we have a final product from the cooperation of many people into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think it's a mosque. Let's see. Yes, it's the blue. It's inspired by the blue mosque. So, but I like the fact that Benebell mentions architects and architecture for the 3 of this. Well, actually, the 3 of Orbs in this case, because that is exactly what cooperation can get you. They can get you these structures. They can get you these buildings, these bases, this beautiful product at the end. This is why it's so important to ask for help when you need it. You know, there are wonderful things that happens when you cooperate with people, and this is one of them. Architecture is one of those things. And I love the fact that we have a final product for the 3 of Orbs instead of the work that it's being done, which we do typically see. Love this for the 3 of Orbs. I just absolutely out of the park, out of the box. Love this. Love this. One of my favorite cards in the deck is this one. Mostly because it just opened up my view of the 3 of Orbs into something different that I didn't think about until I worked with this tarot. But the other thing that I was going to show you guys are the core cards. Here we have the Archangels, Angel of Warrior, Archangel of Healing, Archangel Commander, and Archangel of Mysteries. This is the King of Discs, King of Swords, King of Cups, and King of Wands. Love those. The queens in this deck are called shields. Here we have the golden shield, the ivory shield, the scarlet shield, the ebony shield. And as you guys, I mentioned, well, actually I mentioned in the last video, the knights are called the Shining Ones. So this is the Shining Flame, the Shining Waters, the Shining Gale, and the Shining Quarry. And the pages are called heralds: the herald of flame, the herald of the waters, the herald of the winds, and the herald of the earth. There are all of the court cards, guys. Very beautiful. The art is amazing. We get a full description of the cultures that these court cards are being or are portraying, and they're being illustrated here. If they are a historical person, we actually know what that historical person is, and we're going through the history of that person as well. Can't say much more about this tarot other than it's incredibly beautiful, and I am so grateful that I have it in my collection, and so grateful that I was able to work with it the way that I did, and that I'm going to be able to keep working it with it. Again, I'm so sorry, guys, because I know that this deck is not available anymore, but I just had to talk about it because it's such an excellent deck, and if you see it there on the wild and it's a good price, please don't hesitate to get it. Get it with the book and read the book as well, because the Spirit Keeper's Tarot has refreshed my practice, has opened up my my mind and my knowledge of the tarot to other layers that I didn't know were available or even thought about before I used this deck. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about the tarot. What was your favorite card that you saw? Anything that you would like to let me know about the Spirit Keeper's Tarot. I would very much like to have a conversation with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. But until next time, YouTube, bye-bye. Okay, husband of mine, I want this for the thumbnail, so please take a screenshot of this. I love you, husband. I love you so much. I love you.